So Microsoft is in the news again today. This time it's taking a big $6.2 billion hit to goodwill for an acquisition it made 5 years ago in internet advertising. They got into the business late, they paid way too much money for it, and now they're basically writing the whole thing off. But there is some sliver of good news in this. At least that's what you're trying to glean out of this. There may be, Rob. So tell us about what you think that is.
Well, the main problem is that Microsoft, it doesn't do many acquisitions, and this is a good reason why it doesn't do many of them. But the ones it does, once it's done historically, it's done all over the place. It's done ones for its consumer business, so it's games business. It's done business software. It's done advertising agencies like the Quantive one. And the ones that have done particularly bad seem to be the ones outside of its core area. In other words, when Microsoft sticks to business software and to operating systems for PCs, it does very well.
So just to be clear, because I think people might get confused, Microsoft does actually have a core business, despite all these acquisitions it makes, and it's in business software.
Yes, yes, exactly. And so it makes a huge amount of profits from that. You know, its internet business has been losing money consistently and lost something like, I think it was $4 billion over the past 9 months. Don't quote me on those numbers. But meanwhile, its operating system, and its Windows, etc., all those make just phenomenal amounts of money.
Does that mean it just keeps on getting distracted by things it thinks it ought to be? I mean, we've seen what Zune, the music player, we've seen them get into various other things, certainly on the consumer side, where they just kind of flame out.
Yeah, the reason was Microsoft had the idea Windows everywhere. In other words, they were going to control software everywhere. And they kind of figured out eventually that that's not really going to take place.
Well, partly because regulators don't like it either, right?
Well, that's part of it. And the other reason is that it's hard to do a lot of things at the same time. You know, like they do very well when they stick to one thing. When they start trying to do everything, they get in trouble. For instance, this acquisition, Google bought it because
Google bought another ad business.
They bought another one called DoubleClick, which has done extraordinarily well.
And they bought it just a few weeks before Microsoft.
Exactly. And what DoubleClick did is basically Google had a lot of people searching for stuff, and it had a lot of advertisers looking for people searching for stuff. And so it's a middleman, basically. And DoubleClick made it could place ads very efficiently. Microsoft saw that and said, hey, let's do it ourselves, too. And it overpaid tremendously because all these firms were being bought up at the same time.
Yeah, there were 3 or 4 more deals before they bought. So they bought a Quantive. I think you read about this in 2007, saying already looked pretty desperate.
Yeah, it's basically they went to a party, they didn't know anyone, they just drank really heavily to try to catch up, and it didn't work out.
None of us have experience in doing that, obviously. So what happens next? I mean, they take the write-down. It's a huge one. It's almost the entire value of the deal, but it's a non-cash charge, right? For accounting boffins, that means not too much to worry about on a financial basis.
It means everyone's already known this is a dog, and it doesn't really affect that. What it means is that hopefully Microsoft has learned its lesson and won't do so many of M&A transactions in the future, especially ones away from its core areas.
Well, we'll keep an eye out. Thank you, Rob. Let's see if Microsoft actually does learn from its lessons, and we'll certainly be keeping an eye on them. And do come back to us later in the week for more breaking views.